Okay, so I'm going to be preparing the roasted potato portion of our seared salmon entree. Just going to start with the knife cuts on the potato. You're going to have a fingerling potato in your parcel. It's hard to find fingerling potatoes in a grocery store, so I have just a couple different varieties. What's nice about the technique that I'm going to show you is that it really doesn't matter what kind of potato you use. All types of potatoes work. You just have to kind of decide how you're going to cut those potatoes in order to kind of decide how it will go in. So with these little small red potatoes, because they're so tiny, I'm just going to keep them whole. Whereas with this larger Yukon Gold, obviously I'm going to have to cut him down just to kind of make it so that they'll cook relatively evenly. I'm going to cook them in the same vessel. What you'll want to use is some sort of vessel, again, similar to like the beets, that you could just make sure that you're able to put a nice seal with Reynolds wrap, foil, and a little bit of plastic wrap underneath. I love these like disposable containers that you can buy in the grocery store. They work really well for this. I'm just using a cake pan here. And so I'm just gonna cut kind of like abstract looking pieces. I'm not really worried about getting, in fact, I don't want like a nice even dice. I don't think a dice is gonna look interesting with what we're working on. So it's gonna be 2 portions worth of potatoes. So probably be a little more than 2 portions worth, which is just fine. Some for snacking. Okay. So next what I'm gonna do is just get my potatoes lightly seasoned. First I'm gonna add a small amount of olive oil, just like, you know, a healthy drizzle over the top. And then a nice generous pinch, maybe 2 pinches of salt. Agitate it a little bit. I have a tiny bit of water here. And similar, it's basically the same exact method as roasting the beets. Just a small amount of water. Not so much that's gonna be coating the bottom of the pan, but just enough so that it will help roast the potatoes. And actually, I think I even got the tiniest bit too much in there. I'm gonna pour a little bit out. You don't want too much because it will end up making the potatoes steam a little bit too much. See, that's perfect right there. I would say about a teaspoon worth of water. And because I poured a little bit of that oil out, I'll just put a little bit more in. So next, taking the plastic wrap over the top. Again, these at-home plastic wraps are just not quite the same as the ones we're used to in our classroom kitchens, but they get the job done. It's the combination of the two. You don't get that super seal yet, but once you put the foil over the top, that's how you really can crimp those edges. I have my oven on 375, might turn it down to 350. And I'm gonna let these roast. It'll take about anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. If I let them cook a little longer than that, they don't burn, they just caramelize on the edge touching the pan, which is kind of nice. So there's a nice like window of time depending on what you're looking for. All right, we'll take a little break